And all of this time that I've been talking, apparently my microphone wasn't on. So, welcome back to another episode of CaseyBuilds Live. Sorry about that. That's embarrassing. Today we're doing the Imperial Shuttle. I do have one of my first Star Wars sets is the Imperial Shuttle, the Ultimate Collector Series one. And it's a bit bigger in scale. This is the newest Star Wars set that's come out at this point, as of this recording. And it's a smaller scale, 660 pieces. It shouldn't take too long to do today, but it should be fun. It looks good. I really liked the original Ultimate Collector Series version of the Imperial Shuttle. It seemed like when I had gotten it, I had a hard time imagining how it would be an interesting build, because it just seemed like three big flat white blades with a fuselage that everything attached to, and I thought there's no way that that's going to be interesting. And then I was delightfully surprised. The gearing and everything to handle the torque necessary for the size of the side wings. It was neat seeing all that, and yeah. Anyway, it was a great set. So let's start building today's set. Flip over to the build cam, which I might need to make a slight adjustment to, because I didn't pre-aim it the way I typically do. Oh, perfect spot. Look at that. It's like we've done this before. Let's flip ahead here. Okay. Always have to start out with building a minifig. So we have one of these dorky little Imperial officers with their silly hats. Imperial officer. Thank you. Yes, success is no accident. As always, wonderful words to live by. Thank you. This is another one that they haven't re-released this as many times as they have, say, the X-Wing or Millennium Falcon. This one, let's see here. From where I'm sitting right now, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's excluding the tiny little silly mini ones. But this one, however, unlike the X-Wing, where I can look over my shoulder and easily see 4 of them right off the bat that are all exactly the same, effectively, these are always slightly different. They keep changing the scale on them all, so it's still a little fun. Porty, Mike 16, hello everyone. Yeah, apologies for the weird issues at the beginning of the stream with no audio. It would seem, because I know this happened to me once a week or two ago, it seems like if I hit my trigger keys in my streaming software too closely together, it only picks up one of the triggers. So it switched the video but did not switch the audio, which is obviously a very important part of the stream. So I need to I think I need to wait just a second after switching before I hit the other one. So things we learn. So as I was saying before, and I hope I was repeating it when my audio was working, the bigger one of these shuttles that I have, it has a whole lot of gearing inside, so you can crank, and there's a crank on it that folds the wings up and down, and the gearing is necessary with the size size that they are to be able to actually make it all work. This one, it's starting to look like maybe because it'll be smaller, we might just be able to hold it in place and position it with these little guys instead of having a whole bunch of extra gears in the middle of the thing. So, to be determined. I don't know if this is a new piece, and it doesn't look like it's really all that weird of a concept. But I don't know if I've ever seen one of these before where it's a 1x1 brick with a plus going through it. Usually it's usually a 1x2 with the plus in the middle. Having it be a 1x1 like this, that might be a new element. I might have to look that up. What an exciting day it is. Sure you all share my excitement about the possibility of that being a new Lego element. Oh boy.
Not as excited as I am about the possibility of lunch.
Yeah. Lex and I had a bit of an impacted schedule today. We were not able to eat prior to jumping into the stream here. So we're a little hungry. But the things we do for our art and our audience. Yeah, we're married. That's how it works. There we go. You've also done an amazing job sorting under the tremendous time crunch pressure. But naturally you are a professional. I appreciate that about you. Bo James. Yeah. Getting our Sith on right now. I know that is your preferred alignment. Also, I don't know if my friend Oksana has ever watched this stream, but if you're out there watching the stream, it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Oksana. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. One of the more ironic lines from any Star Wars movie. Who knew that we would get into such philosophical concepts on CaseyBuilds? So one of the things that Lego has had up recently is a one of the things that Lego put on their website recently was a survey specific to Technic sets, asking for feedback about various things. And one of the things that I fed back was that I think that I would love to see a big old GTR supercar set. And I don't know if me asking for it was the one thing holding Lego back, but if it was, it'd be really nice to be able to do one of those, probably as a time lapse one of these days. No Sith Technic sets. Yeah, well, I feel like if you look at something like this, there's plenty of Technic parts in there that you could argue that most of the Star Wars sets skirt that edge. Ooh. There we go. Alright, that is in there. Okay. Skirt that edge, skirt the line. Am I mixing metaphors? All of a sudden that doesn't sound right. This is on the back side. So it looks like most of what we're doing here is just making a whole lot of infrastructure, trying to make it as robust as it will need to be to support the weight of itself. I'm guessing we can hang everything off of it. Bless you, Sorter. Still don't know what all of this is, how it's all going to manifest itself, but building ourselves a nice starting point for what we're going to be building off of, I believe. Alex has many skills with weaponry, not just related to bows and arrows. Where's this guy go? They are making this really over-engineered almost. They're really the density with all of this stuff and the lots of extra connectors and barrel connectors and things like that. This is going to be a really strong little guy. And probably one more piece right there. And I think that is the end of bag one. It is. Bag one done. Get ourselves a Ziploc because I forgot to do that ahead of time. Thank you. Zippity-doo-dah. All right. I'm gonna go on to bag 2. For having for this being a smaller set, 600 pieces. Usually good snacks. One of the things. Usually, let's start that sentence over. There we go. Yeah, usually in most sets, they usually put about 200 pieces in a bag, and that you can use that knowledge of having done them before to kind of get a good guess at how long a set's going to take you to build. That and how many pieces are in it and everything. This set has 600 and some odd pieces and 6 bags, which means you have half as many pieces per bag on average, which I don't think they actually divvied things out.
No, absolutely not.
In an even way, which is distressing the sorter. But generally speaking, it's about 20-ish minutes per bag of roughly 200-ish pieces. But today we're dealing with smaller bags, which means we're going to go through them more quickly, theoretically. So it's all to say, I don't know exactly how long this is going to take today, and if I were to make a guess, I'm going to say we're going to have this done in under a half an hour. Or hour and a half. Not a half an hour. We'll have it done in under an hour and a half, I think. If I can hold on to it. Seems like we're starting to build another separate area. I'm quite interested to see how all of this stuff is going to come together.
Is episode 4 the only time we see, well, episode 4 and row 1, of course. Is that the only time we see this ship?
I think we see the Imperial Shuttle in all 3 of the original trilogy. It's sort of the black town car of the Empire. Man, I could go for some snacks right now.
I can't have any, you can't have any.
Actually, that's one thing that we didn't calculate into the amount of time it takes to build the set. Because if I'm hungrier, does that mean that I'm going to be building faster so I can get food faster, or does that mean I'm going to build slower because I'm too focused on being hungry and that I'm not going to be as efficient, precise, exact movements? Also, I know a lot of people watch these after the fact and aren't watching them live, but if you're watching it live right now, that means you were able to navigate daylight savings time yet again. Kind of can't help but wonder what it would actually take for us to be able to just abolish that, since it's just sort of a outdated concept. People with pets are going to have a rough day today when it comes time for the normal feeding schedule. Okay. Okay. And there's our silly little icon that tells us not to poke our eyes out. Thank you for the reminder, Lego.
I think it is a Red Rider.
Red Rider BB gun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How do you go? Kind of like that, maybe. Sure. Yep. Oh. We also should not poke our eyes out with the one that we're building on the next page either. We should take great care to poke our eyes out neither one of those ways. Yeah. You know, Cordy, and I feel like getting rid of daylight savings time would definitely cause some, you know, Y2K-ish, we got to do some emergency system patching issues all over the place. But I figure if folks like yourself and I are on board with that, the sort of folks who that would actually directly impact, I think we could all get on board with that.
There are already places that don't, like Hawaii, etc., etc.
We are already done with bag 2.
Like I said, it's very well looking at.
See, Bo James, I thought you were going to go with what is good if not the absence of bad, and without bad, could something be considered good? This is great. We have a Luke Skywalker here. And if you didn't recognize his face, which I'm sure everybody would, you do recognize he does have the appropriate hands. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Okay, see how I caught that on my forearm? Come on. Hold the handcuffs there, Luke. And we got a lightsaber. There's our complete Luke Skywalker. See, Cordy, you say it's just a few tables, but that to me is real borderline can't you just. I know you have way more wisdom than that. Even just based on things that I've gone through with you. Okay, well, we have the start of the canopy for the cockpit area. last week or possibly the week before. Who knows? As time no longer has meaning. Well, hello there, Taco Cub. Last week or the week before, Lex and I finally dismantled my Mega Bloks Starship Enterprise, which, yes, was Mega Bloks and therefore unfortunate. And as I'm putting this together, just hearing and feeling the way the pieces snap together, it's just such a contrast when you build a Mega Block set. It's weird. It's all just plastic, but it
feels wrong.
It feels different, and it doesn't have as satisfying a snap to it. They're just not as good. Incidentally, in that Technic survey I took, I also championed for them to license the Star Trek IP so that we could get some officially licensed Lego officially licensed Star Trek sets, which I think would be great. They certainly have enough ships and things in the Star Trek universe that they could model, similar to what they do here with all these Star Wars models. They might even have more, actually. I don't know. Really went all out on this Technic survey. It's basically like a Dear Santa letter. How's life today, Taco Cub? In a cross-section of somewhat Taco Cub related news, if you missed the announcement from Chipotle recently, they now have new quesadillas on the menu. And Taco Cub was kind enough, by the way, we do have one of these rubbery pieces here, which I always love because Legos, if nothing else, Legos are made out of hard plastic that isn't meant to bend and move. And when you have one of these, it means something's happening that's not normal. And I like that. Anyway, what was I saying? Taco Cub recently went to Chipotle and got their new quesadilla, which is fresh on the menu. Something I've been wanting to try. Said they don't have the value of a burrito, but they are fairly delicious. So I do love a good value, but I also am still very excited to try this thing out. Supposedly you can only order it in the app right now. That's a new name. That's a name I haven't heard. Hello, welcome to the stream. M. Is this your first time here? Where's this go? This clips on here. I think that looks right. Yeah. Using the data to clean harm so quesadilla is delicious, but burrito still magic. Yeah. Yeah, it would be pretty tough for anyone to even Chipotle themselves. It'd be tough for them to top the magical combination that is the Chipotle burrito. Taco, I am glad to hear that you're feeling good enough to be able to actually do that. I'm going to call that improvement. Kind of have a kind of like a ladder here, almost. Not really sure what that's going to do yet. By the way, Mike 16 or motherboard, were you able to get things running on your TV today? Were you able to make the device jump? Oh, this is getting really complicated. There's a whole lot of something going on here. Oh, it kind of locks down in place. Oh, that's what the rubbery bit's for, is so that can move and then can lock itself into place. Although why we're doing that, I still don't really know, but that seems to be what that's for. Oh, good. Glad to hear that, motherboard. And it's worth noting, that is a printed on piece. That's not a sticker. Hooray, hooray for that. I'm feeling this is the last step in this bag. Tis. That's it for bag 3. Which is half of the bag, so we're not quite halfway through with the pages. So I have a feeling these trays are going to get a little more full going forward. Whoa. That's a cool looking tray. Alright, let's make 2 of whatever this is. And 2. Oopsies. It's all good. Alright, how does this all go? Like that. What fun little pods we just made here. A couple of these little guys. So that's going to be, it looks like it's going on the sides here, and this is what will be, yeah, we're starting to work on the wing stuff. Yeah. my sorter went downstairs. Makes me suspicious that possibly she will be much less hungry than I will be very soon. Okay, this goes on the back. Like that is lined up like that. I'm doing some really interesting things here with changing direction of which way the pieces go instead of just building them all up. I feel like this is stuff that I used to talk about a lot more, and I haven't really talked about it much recently when I've been building stuff. But it's always interesting when they have things on the sides like this to let you start building in a different direction, or that you use these like the Technic elements with the barrels and things to be able to start building off in different directions. Because when you do that, you give yourself a lot more opportunities for ways to basically you can create a whole lot more detail. Yes, pretty turquoise. It's for the back where the thrusters are. But by changing the direction that the studs are going, it just gives you the ability to create more detail. Here's your turquoise bits right here. There you go. Oh, she isn't downstairs. I shouldn't have second guessed her. We were in such a hurry when we got back to prepare the stream. She immediately jumped into sorting while I went and took the shower, since obviously I need to be beautiful for all of you. And I can hear the shower running. I should have never doubted her. Okay. They're having us build some really fun little things along the edge here. I'm liking what we're doing. I'm not sure where it's all going, but I'm liking it. Okay. This has like that. Oh, Tuscan Productions. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome back, I should say. Okay. Now one for the other side. Yeah, you can see how they're all coming together. It's a really neat shape to it. Liking it. goes in here, and then one more. Presumably that'll be the end of this tray. Well, that's right. Tuscan, you are in a much different time zone. You're over, yeah, you're hours ahead. If I remember correctly, I think we had this talk the last time. Okay. There's nothing left on the tray, so this is definitely going to be the last bit here. And this goes on that way. There we go. And there we go. So top-down view, you can see these will be the parts that articulate for the wings. This still is really great. I like that locking mechanism. That's really cool. So, yep. That was the end of bag 4. Off to grab bag 5. Oh. Bag 5's coming to me. Thank you. Okay. Time for our Sith Lord. And the Darth Vader. Even though you can't see the minifig head, because it's obviously hidden by the mask, it's remarkable that they still have, he's all pale and white, and he's got gashes on the back of his head, and the way it all fits together, Lego really did a great job with their Darth Vader minifig. It's a little too dark to see, but never get tired of those. Go. Okie dokie. Here we go. Top. We're working on our top fin now. As I'm building this, try to picture it a few sizes bigger. Like maybe 3 or 4 times the size, where it's like this big instead of how big it's actually going to be. And it's all pretty much the same, because no matter how big it is, it's always just going to be one brick wide. There's some interesting physics lesson in there somewhere, but I don't know what it is. does appear that they're going to be using some of the same techniques that the bigger one used to finish this off, where we have lots of we're going to have rods going through these things to tighten them up, keep it together. Okay, this one's a 15, which is 15? 15, yep. Okay. Small little 1x1 flat squares are just always my least favorite Lego pieces. Okay. Now the other one that's not a 15. There. One, two, three. 1, 2, 1, 2. Cool beans. Yeah, see that snap? It's just such a good snap. There goes in. So you can see we're building things up like normal Lego, and then we have like the more technical sorts of pieces where we're going back and forth between the two. Where do you go? You go up here like that. So we're really using, whoever designed this is using everything in the arsenal to try to get this to be both nice and sturdy, as well as try to remain in somewhat of the correct shape. Which can be at odds with one another sometimes. Either side. And all of these things are obviously going together in a very specific order, so that each of the, even though it's going to be one big flat blade, all of these internal holes to line up to keep everything together better. They're obviously very, very intentionally, specifically, deliberately aligned so that they will line up correctly. Okay. This goes in through. Where do you go? Through there. See, so these holes along the side line up perfectly with these tabs, barrels that are sticking out here. And so even though we're changing back and forth between the big long Technic beams and the standard Lego bricks, we're spacing them out sometimes with a single plate here and there. so that they will all line up when they go back and forth between the two types of elements. Oops. Doubled. Okay. Sometimes I hit both the left arrow and the down arrow at the same time, which makes it advance 2 pages instead of 1 page, which is obviously not good. Alright, as you can see, we have a big flat blade here, but it is all locked together, and you can... So, it's not so flimsy that it'll fall apart. Like, if it wasn't locked together as well, these pieces could easily just snap off. Like, halfway up the wall break kind of a thing. So there was a lot of intentional design that went into that to keep it as strong as it is. Okay. This goes in here somehow. Just put it down on it like that. Bet we're going to put a beam through either side. Yep, right there. There we go. I can even lift it up by it. Very nice. Three. And set that out of the way here. Oops. There? Yes. Like that. Cool. And that goes toward the front, which means this goes across like that. Okay. Very good. Now I do the other side. Same thing on the other side. So now we're into the part that's always the most common problem, if you can call it that, with most sets, where most things are symmetrical. But most of the man-made things that you're making with Lego are symmetrical, and so a lot of the time we do one wing on one side and then we do the mirror for the other side, and so you end up basically doing the same thing. It's a little on the repetitive side. even though technically it's the exact opposite, so it's therefore it must be different, but it still feels like you're just doing the same thing that you just did over again. So that's how we're going to be guessing finishing this set off, is with a whole bunch of that, because we're going to do one wing on one side and then the wing on the other side. And I think this is going to be the last step on this one. Let's see. Yep, on to the 6th and final bag. We are flying along. Let's see here, we're an hour in. I think my estimate of hour and a half tops is probably going to be correct, but we'll find out soon. Okay, time for the wings. Leave that guy up there, and we're going to start building one of them. This goes through here first, and then through, like that. Okay. Down, swinging bit. Oh, another one. Another one of those. I had not expected that. Oh, not one of these though. Just one of these. Okay. Flush. And like that. Put them all together. Alright, we got one of those and two of those. And they're doing a whole lot more direction flipping here, so we're going off in different directions on each side. With reasons which I'm sure will become apparent once we get further down the road. There we are. It's to get these blasters popping out. Not quite as exciting as I thought it might have been, but still an important finishing touch. Necessary finishing touch. It was oriented that way. It's weird too sometimes when you have to turn these things around to orient them. Like I almost called this the bottom, but really when things are going in every single direction, it's kind of hard to maintain what exactly would actually be, in fact, the bottom. It's all sort of relative at that point. what once was the bottom would be what I would now call the side, for example. So it's constantly changing with these sorts of situations. Easy peasy. Okay, and this locks on to these guys. As I said, this one's strong enough to be able to, or small enough that under its own weight you can actually position the wing and it'll just hold itself. The other one is big enough where that would not be possible. So we'll set this over here and we'll build our wing for the other side so it doesn't fall over all lopsided and silly like that. Like I said, it's all the same, just the same in a mirror. There we go. Through. It all comes together like that. We have now created ambiguous directions as we had the last time. Now for the big flat part. Blaster cannons on the front. Goes across there. And one of these across the, maybe we call it the bottom. Current bottom, soon to be side. Now it's the side that goes across there. Make sure everything's, all these little studs are fully engaged. There we go. All piped together like that. And now this one goes over here. And all we have left are these little blaster guys that will put into these side cannons. And that's that. That's a complete Imperial Shuttle. All done. We can open it up. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look what we have. In fact, let's switch over to the front cam. I like showing things better there. If it'll switch for me, why don't you switch? Switch. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so we have ourselves a nice Imperial Shuttle. The wings can go down, which is where they are when it's flying around. And then when it goes to land, they go up. And it lands. And because of this cool little switch right here, which way does it go? Do you pull on it or push on it? Pull on it. Because of that, we can put people in there if we need to. So we can say, let's throw, we're going to put this Imperial officer in the front. So he's driving the ship. As you can see here. Imperial officer in the front driving the ship. Boom. We'll throw Luke and Vader in the back. I don't need to do that on camera. That locks down. And there we go. We have Imperial Shuttle. Ready to take off. All done. That was a great set. I think the smaller size, it's perfect as it is for the smaller size. I like the bigger one too. Both, I like them both. I don't know if I'd have a hard time picking just one as the winner. I would pick the larger one because the larger ones are always more fun. But they're both great. So, thank you all for showing up. Quick little Sunday build today. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you have the rest of your weekend. Tuscan, I don't know if you're still out there. Your weekend's probably already over. But thank you guys. And I will see you next weekend. Bye, everyone.